Who I am? I was born a poor black child. No, I always like that line. I don't know. My name's Tara, and I was born in Florida. I spent most of my life living in North Carolina. And when I graduated from uni, moved out to Los Angeles, did a bunch of stuff in film and TV industry, and recently decided to, switch it up and do something crazy and move abroad for a while. So here I am in Australia.
The castle's high and the dragons are scary.
I am one of two kids. I have a little sister, and we were about 3 years apart. So not a big family, but my dad's a professor. He teaches business, and it's always funny to me. He's a really big deal in his field, but because I'm TV film and he's business, it doesn't translate for me. It doesn't compute, because I actually had somebody come up to me once and say to me, like, "What's it like to be Kevin Lowe's daughter?" And I'm like, I don't know what you're asking me, really. Because, it's like a celebrity thing. You're like, what's it like to live with this man? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, at home, he's pretty quiet. He makes fart jokes sometimes.
The air is hot and the room is spinning around. I'll sit on your lap and
I was like 4 or 5 and just got up on stage singing my little heart out, and I loved it. And, immediately started trying to get into community theater. So pretty much, from the minute I could walk and talk and make sense of stuff, I just sort of was like, oh yeah, I'll just perform. So it was sort of always in me, I guess. Almost when it comes to acting, I feel like I just have always, I enjoy entertaining, I think, is the biggest thing of it. Like, I enjoy feeling like I've brought, some sort of entertainment to other people. Like, that's probably one of the bigger reasons I tend to do comedy over drama, because I like to make people laugh, and I will do just about anything at my own expense to, like, get a laugh out of somebody else. So, I don't know, I enjoy that part of it. I enjoy, like, that bringing, I guess, a certain amount of joy to other people. I just always loved to perform. I always loved being on stage, and because like I said, I did community theater, so I always loved being on stage, and that sort of progressed into, looking at TV and movies more seriously and looking at it from that perspective and realizing, just how much effort went into making things like movies, and that sort of got me thinking about all the other jobs, outside of just acting, like all the other jobs, and, just kind of fell in love with the concept of making the story. The EA Games commercial that I worked on was an experience, because we filmed in downtown Los Angeles, and we had to make it look like downtown Los Angeles had been abandoned. And if you've ever tried to make any downtown location like look abandoned, especially when it's like as big of a city as Los Angeles, like, that was something of a challenge. You really see people's true colors when you tell them that they can't walk down the sidewalk that they want to walk down. Because I've only been in Australia about 2 months, so, I have friends back home that are like, what are you gonna do when your visa runs out? And I'm like, guys, I sort of, like, just figured out Australia, so, like, talk to me again in, like, 6 months, and then maybe I'll have a plan. But, like, this is actually the first time in my life that I don't really have a plan, so it's kind of, like, it's a little freaky in a way, but it's actually kind of, like, really nice in a way to, like, just sort of breathe for a minute. Yeah, it was a change I needed to make. I had been in Los Angeles for about 3.5 or 4 years, and I'd gone out there right after I graduated from uni. And there's a lot of awesome stuff in Los Angeles. Like, there's a lot of really awesome stuff, but there's a lot of really, like, negative and annoying stuff in Los Angeles as well. And for me personally, the positives of Los Angeles were not being outweighed by the negatives I was experiencing. And I sort of got to that point where not only was I sort of emotionally struggling with the positives versus the negatives, but my bank account was being majorly drained because, it's a tough industry. There's never consistent work, and even to try and get a day job out there, there's a million other people that are just as qualified, if not more qualified than you, and I was having a really hard time getting a job that could even pay my rent. I was on government support for food, and I was living through my savings, like all that kind of stuff, and I kind of got to that point where I was like, not only am I sort of like emotionally like struggling with if this is a good idea in my life right now, but I'm literally about to go broke, that kind of thing. And whenever people ask me what I want to be, or like, what do you want to be when you grow up, what do you want to do with your life, blah, 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 my response is always, I want to be happy. And that was kind of my big thing in like actually deciding, to take a break from Los Angeles, is it kind of hit me. I was like, I'm actually not that happy right now, and I need to do something, something to shake it up. And like, if that was something that could happen in Los Angeles, I probably would have stayed, but I sort of realized because of the things I said before, that like, that might not be possible right now. I might have to go away for a while, and maybe I get to go back. Maybe that is what ultimately makes me happy. Maybe I get to go back in a year and, try my hand at the film industry again, but like, I definitely needed the time to just sort of like step away and evaluate, just reevaluate like what's important to me. And so whenever I think down the road, like, again, specificity is usually rewarded, and I'm not giving myself specifics. I'm just giving myself the general, I want to be happy. And so I'm sort of looking for what that is, I guess.
This is Lowe.